day I will feel that I did something, it's time for me to quit. Stage पे आया, everybody started singing सारी उम्र मर मर के जी लिए एक पल तो अब हमें इतना सिंक में लगा हम होंगे कामयाब और give me some sunshine. I am a music composer. I'm not a film music composer only.
You tapped the talent of Shreya Ghoshal at a very early stage of her career. How do you remember the Shreya Ghoshal of that time?
And I must say this on record, very, very rare appreciation of a person is not success oriented. Simple girl, that girl who had come to sing Parinita.
मुझे लगता है कि आपने तो Instagram Reels के लिए बहुत 20 साल पहले तैयारी कर ली थी, 25 साल पहले.
If you're accepting कि हाँ मुझे Instagram में डालना है.
Every time Lage Rao Munna Bhai comes, honestly, that's a film that you just cannot not watch.
Truth is that today you ask me how did it happen, I don't know. I don't know. Now all the movies that I've done, you will see, it goes back with some small shift in the way you think what life is. And I think that has been my driving force. Hi, this is Shantanu Moitra and you're watching The Legacy Conversation with the one and only Faridoon Shahryar.
आज मेरे साथ में शांतनु मोइत्रा, one of the finest music composers that the Indian music industry has ever seen. The most important part is that he works at his own term and condition. एक करीबन ढाई डेकेड के वक्फे में जो उन्होंने काम किया है वो बहुत ही सिग्निफिकेंट है एंड बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका मुझसे बात करने के लिए ऑन सिम्बियन हेल्थ प्रेजेंट्स लेगेसी कॉन्वर्सेशन.
मैं आपको बहुत दिन के बाद मिल रहा हूँ
जी.
बट आज जो बात हो रही थी दैट द फर्स्ट वर्क दैट आई डिड आई यूज्ड टू वर्क बिफोर इन कॉर्पोरेट.
Right.
Up was आपके सावन.
Right.
And that time you were a kid. You were all kid, but you were much smaller. And you had come for an interview with me, Prasoon Joshi, and Shubham Gilji.
Right.
And I remember you so clearly. So I'm very happy after so many years. Of course, we met in the middle every film.
Right.
But you haven't changed, which is wonderful. I don't mean physically. I mean in terms of ideology, which is wonderful.
No, I still remember you made me listen to all the songs of Aapke Saaman before we started the conversation, and it was a wonderful album, and you still look the same. 25 odd years down the line, you still look the same. I think time spent in mountains definitely helps in staying younger.
Yeah, and time spent away from the chaos also helps.
Right. लेकिन ये आपका बहुत दिलचस्प मुझे एक एस्पेक्ट लगता है कि आपने अपने टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन पे आपने काम किया है. पहले आप एक कॉर्पोरेट जॉब में थे, उसके बाद फिर आपने
advertising में the client side. Yeah.
Right, and then after that, obviously you became like a very prolific ad jingle maker, and then you came into movies. लेकिन movies में कभी भी आपने किसी तरीके की किसी रेस में आपने शामिल होना मुनासिब नहीं समझा. उसका हिम्मत कहाँ से आई?
Because I saw what happens in a race very early in my life because I was in the corporate. अब तो सिर्फ रेस ही है. There were days when I used to work in the corporate world. और मैंने उसी समय तय किया था कि अगर जिंदगी में कभी भी मौका मिले, if I get an opportunity to restart my life, I would like to do something, and like to do that something in a way where I don't have to think that in the morning, oh shit, I have to go to work. So when I got that opportunity in terms of creating music, I was absolutely clear that मैं इसको भी इतना नहीं लेके जाऊंगा कि रेपिटेशन करते करते रोज स्टूडियो जाके रोज काम करते करते आई रीच वन डे कि यार आई डोंट फील लाइक गोइंग टू द स्टूडियो. आई डोंट गो देयर बिकॉज़ आई नो इट्स एन हॉरिफिक मोमेंट व्हेन दैट हैपेंस. सो देयरफॉर आई केप्ट इट एट अ डिस्टेंस, डिड इट व्हेन आई वांटेड टू डू एंड डिड अदर थिंग्स. So that the joy, beauty of a child, it's like a child with a toy.
Correct.
After 3 days, the toy is thrown off.
Right.
I didn't want to throw off this toy called music. I just loved it too much.
Right. और इत्तेफाक से जिस तरीके की फिल्में आपने करी हैं तो आपकी जो आइडियोलॉजी है उसमें बहुत हद तक आपको सीखने का मौका भी मिला. 3 Idiots में जो एक डायलॉग है कि दैट सक्सेस के पीछे मत भागो, एक्सेलेंस के पीछे भागो. सक्सेस झकमार के पीछे
एक्सेलेंस पीछे भागो, सक्सेस
झकमार के पीछे आएगी. झकमार के पीछे आएगी. एंड देन रीस्टार्ट की आप बात कर रहे हैं तो फिर 12th फेल में आपने रिसेंटली अपने गाना भी आपने बनाया बहुत कमाल का. एंड इंटरेस्टिंग चीज़ ये है कि आपके सर्टन आपके जो गाने हैं, जैसे अगर हम बात करें गिव मी सनशाइन या फिर ऑल इज वेल, कुछ हद तक उसमें एक ऐसा लगता है कि जैसे कोई थिएटर चल रहा है, कोई प्ले के जो एक होता है ना, जैसे द वे इनैक्ट तो वो एक होता है. Is that like a conscious thing on your part?
पता नहीं क्यों शायद दिल्ली में जब मैं when I was growing up in Delhi I was I would say the माहौल was such कि उस समय सफदर हाशमी was very strong. He died that time. I saw the student protests, revolutions. तो कहीं पे वो हम होंगे कामयाब समूह में सब गा रहे हैं सड़क में बैठ के, वो एक कहीं पे. और मैं एसोसिएशन बंगाल जहाँ पे every day there's been protests. The fact that music has been used as a protest in all these places, when I was growing up, कहीं पे शायद जहन में घुसा है. और कहीं पे जब भी कोई फिल्म में कॉन्फ्लिक्ट वाला सीन आता है, instinctively my sound bank goes towards what I had seen and what I experienced.
Right.
It's a very strange coincidence you mentioned this. आज भी ये कुछ ही दिन पहले मैं गया था दिल्ली में. Mohit Chauhan had called me because I'm a WWF India ambassador for human and wildlife coexistence, and he loves street dogs. They're doing so much for street dogs. So बीच में जो भी verdict चल रहा था Supreme Court का, so I had gone there for solidarity. And Faridoon, I can't tell you, it was amazing. Jantar Mantar. Again, protest, एक stage. वहाँ पे राहुल राम थे इंडियन ओशन के, मैं था, मोहित था, कवि थे कुछ. And तादाद में स्टूडेंट्स, यूथ. और मैं जैसे ही स्टेज में आया ना, अभी तक वो गा रहे थे हम होंगे कामयाब, और जैसे ही मैं स्टेज पे आया, एवरीबडी स्टार्टेड सिंगिंग सारी उम्र हम मर मर के जी लिए एक पल तो अब हमें. इतना सिंक में लगा कि हम होंगे कामयाब और गिव मी सम सनशाइन.
It is that
जो आवाम गा रहा था. That time that is when I realized that, you know what, the place from where the song is coming is the same. It's when you want to protest, when you want to say something, अंदर से अंदरूनी जब एक चित्कार होता है, वो शायद ऐसे ही सुनाई देता है.
Healthcare anywhere. Simian Health focuses on improving access to care through technology.
And that is why what the question that you've asked is very interesting, because I'm sure these are the sounds I heard when I was growing up.
Right, and you know the sort of work that you've done is so phenomenal. और बहुत से लोग जो एक रेस में लगे रहते हैं, मॉन्यूमेंट्स की बात की जाए उनके करियर में, तो आई थिंक वो बहुत ही लिमिटेड होते हैं. आपका कुछ भी अगर हम उठा लें, लगे रहो मुन्ना भाई है, परिणीता है, 3 Idiots है, पीके है, 12th Fail in the recent times, हज़ारों ख्वाहिशें ऐसी, मुजीब as well, I believe. You've
Well Done Abba, उनके साथ 4 फिल्म की था शाम बेनेगल के साथ.
Well Done Abba was I think a very very important film as far as Baman sir is concerned. That is fantastic.
I'm attracted to stories, and along with that I'm attracted to the fact कि कुछ कहने को है क्या. Because I told you I have many other interests in life. And agar if I'm holed up in a recording studio for 2 months, I should have something to say. Fill in the blanks नहीं यार, यहाँ पे गाना चाहिए लिखा तो. No, मुझे कुछ कहने को है. So you will see if my repertoire, I have constantly directors, I've worked with directors 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not one off. So it's a long-term relationship.
Correct.
And that long-term relationship happens because my approach to that piece of work is not that work, it's that person. So I remember very, very clearly when Shyam had come to me. I was very clear that this mind, and Faridoon, I don't know whether you have met him or not.
I have.
You have. He's one of the most incredible minds I've come across. Well read and how. And his information about things. तो मैंने कहा कि यार ये एक फिल्म बहुत कम है मेरे लिए. So I developed a relationship over a period of time where last 4 films I was with him. Similarly, when it comes to Rajkumar Hirani, when I was doing my first film with him was Lagara Munna Bhai. I was astounded by the man's incredible ability to believe the story and live that person. वो ऐसा ही है. In life also he's like that he finds humor in strange things, and yet there is a part of him which is so amused that when he tells you the story, he's challenging the system.
Okay.
3 films I did with him, you know, and now comes to the most important name, Vidhu Chopra, which was for me. He completely how do I put it? From oblivion, he got me out. And the role of magical moments in your life, when you look back, Faridoon, is amazing, which is like, I have done Apke Savan. Apke Savan's video is directed by Pradeep Sarkar.
Right.
Okay. Parallel story happening in Bombay is Sanjay Leela Bansali is Vinod's assistant and also choreographer. And now he has to do his own film. So he parts ways with Vidhu Chopra. And Mission Kashmir is going to happen. There's no choreographer. Vidhu Chopra sees Apke Savan. And he says, who is the director for this film? He says, get him. Enter Pradeep Sarkar with Vidhu Chopra's life.
Right.
See, this parallel story is happening. I'm unaware of this.
Right.
And he and Pradeep does Mission Kashmir, I think 2 songs he choreographed. A relationship forms when Vinod Chopra tells Pradeep that give me a classic. Because Vinod is very sharp. He says this, ye banda, classic orientation. Because he used to do storyboards, illustrate, but a classic Satyajit Ray kind of approach. And at that time, all of us together from Delhi, me, Pradeep Sarkar, Shujit Sarkar, Dibakar Banerjee, we were all in the agency. Jaideep Sani, we were all together. We moved together to Bombay. And then the idea of Parinita came. And then the idea of, Chal Shantanu ek gana bana ke de yaar. Vinod ko sunana hai. And the first song was Raat Hamari To Chand Ki Saheli Hai.
Wow.
जो Swanand और मैंने लिखा, because I had worked with him before in Hazare ख्वाहिशें ऐसी.
Correct.
And Pradeep had, see how small this world is. So Pradeep had heard, he said, yaar, ye writer kamal hai. Going to Vidhu Chopra. I had done 4 other tunes along with Raat Hamari To. Typical Vidhu Chopra style. यारा, ये गाना brilliant है, बाकी 4 rubbish है. तो अगर तू मुझे ऐसा रात हमारे तो जैसे गाने में रिकॉर्ड 4 दे सकता है, परिणीता will be forever classic. अभी उसने पिक्चर भी नहीं देखा. He was very clear it's a musical. But that faith, that belief, and I must say this on record, very, very rare to meet such people. The day Parinita came out, अभी verdict नहीं निकला अभी. ये आईफा में we had a screening. He called me to his office and says, Shantanu, before the world sees this, I want to tell you that I'm very, very happy with what you have done. Irrespective, it's a flop or it works well. Critics love it. Your music is trashed. My next 3 films you will do. And I want you to understand this, that I'm saying this before anything, before the market forces. So that in life, you learn this art of trusting somebody not based on what market is saying, because you feel that. One of the most incredible lessons I had in life, that he liked your work, irrespective of what you say. I want to work with you next film. Next film do what? Lagara Manna Bai, 3 Idiots and PK.
You're right.
And uske beech mein, of course, his Eklavya was there. So the point is that I met some amazing people, and I am who I am. It's because of that shake, that belief and system didn't shake. The industry is made of very, very intelligent and well-read people. And I don't want to break this myth just because of quantity. That's how it is.
You know, there's no doubt about that. In fact, you're talking about Pradeep Sarkar, but Pradeep Sarkar's association started with Bole Mere Lips, I Love Uncle Ships. So that's the 2 lines he gave it to you, and you were in client servicing, and he asked you to compose it, and the rest is history. You ended up doing like thousands of jingles after that. Okay, now your stint as a jingle composer, how has that contributed? How did that contribute in making songs? Because ultimately, films are also like long advertisements in a way.
Hugely, in multiple places. One is that the ability to become the brand every other day. So one day I'm a scooter brand, so I have to think like a scooter, that audience. One day I'm lipstick, so I have to think like that. One day I am talking about conservation, I become like that. So hum bahrupi ban jate hain. This ability to become somebody else quickly and become that persona, so that that tune which comes out represents that brand, was the classic training in advertising which I got, which later helped me in movies, songs, amazing. So if you take any film, for example, You take Three Idiots, for example. So you have a Zubi Dubi and you have a Behti Bazawa, two different personalities. This would not have happened, or I would have struggled a lot if this training would not have happened in Jingles. Number one. Number two, inherently my style is my first 4 lines become very memorable. It's because again my jingle training. Zubidubi bampara, zubidubi parampam. It could be advertising jingle.
Correct.
Yeah. Or pal 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 could be another jingle. Or one line. This part of the program is sponsored by.
चाराने की जिंदगी.
To come up with a communication.
चाराना was yours. लगे रहो.
Exactly. So क्या है कि to tell a piece of communication in the shortest span of time is what jingle teaches you. To be precise. फैला के नहीं बोलने का. So these are the lessons that I learned from advertising. And also the third very important lesson is casting of the voice. Just like a voice has to be right for the brand, similarly the voice has to write for the tune. So Faridoon, it will be very interesting for you to know that when I compose, I can hear the whole song in my head along with the singer. Very rarely has it happened that. So basically the thing is that suppose I'm thinking Piyu bole, piya bole, I can hear Sonu Nigam and I can hear Shreya Ghoshal. Now, suppose for some reason either one of them is not available, I will not do this tune. Because this tune में छपा हुआ है उनका नाम मेरे ज़हन में. And nobody knows about this. This only I know. So I'll change the tune to adapt to somebody else. But it rarely happens that I've done a tune, somebody is not available, I'll get somebody else to sing it. No. Because that is why when you hear many of my songs, आपको लगता है कि यार ये इसी के लिए बनाया गया था. And that is something again, my advertising learning is that you create a piece of tune, which lines can suit which thing is what the training of advertising jingles does for a composer. Which is why I keep on telling Faridoon, the young brigade who now have the power of on YouTube or channels to that. I said before you get into long format, master the short format. 10 second, 20 second, 30 second. Tell the communication. वो अगर master कर सकते हो ना, then it becomes easier for you to do the bigger one.
Okay, so आप 10, 20, 30 seconds की आप बात कर रहे हैं तो मतलब मुझे लगता है कि आपने तो Instagram Reels के लिए बहुत 20 साल पहले तैयारी कर ली थी, 25 साल पहले.
Instagram.
I'm saying in a lighter way.
No, I know that. So I said
people can be a bit touchy about this.
No, not at all. I just feel that if you're accepting a format, you have to give it the best of the ability. I don't understand, Faridoon, that if you're accepting कि हाँ मुझे Instagram में डालना है, तो problem क्या डालो? ये problem क्या है कि यार I'm a little awkward about this. Don't do it. Which is why I've survived. If I'm awkward, don't do it. But if you're doing it, do the best of the ability. This is a classic lesson Pradeep Sarkar taught me. एक बार मैं 10 सेकंड कर रहा था. उसके पहले मैंने 2 महीने. I mean, it's an amazing story that I just remembered for them, which is like I was doing 40 second or 1 minute. So in the world of advertising, 40 and 1 minute is like movies.
बहुत लंबा होता है.
बहुत लंबा, and you're like, oh my god, you've arrived somewhere in life. कि आपको 40 सेकंड दिया जा रहा है, आपको 1 मिनट दिया जा रहा है. तो 2 महीने करने के बाद सडनली एक दिन वो मेरे को 10 सेकंड देते हैं. तो मैं थोड़ा कंप्लेन कर रहा था कि यार ये 10 सेकंड क्या है. तो प्रदीप सरकार ने अमेजिंग बोला कि शांतनु यार तो एक्सेप्ट कर. मैंने इफ एक्सेप्टेड इट, देन यू डू इट टू द बेस्ट ऑफ द एबिलिटी कि 10 सेकंड ऐसा करो ताकि वो तुम्हारे लिए मूवी है. बट ये मत करो कि यार 10 सेकंड है. यू आर बीइंग सब्सर्विएंट टू अ फॉर्मेट एंड लेंथ. नो, what is your art and what is your discipline and what is your skill that you can make that 10 second a glow like a 1 minute. That is a classic lesson, because the thing that he said finally is that who knows who is watching that 10 second.
Absolutely.
और मैं ये जहन में ये बात इसलिए आ रही है कि मैं जिस समय एडवर्टाइजिंग कर रहा था उस समय रहमान नहीं थे, वो दिलीप साहब थे जब वो एडवर्टाइजिंग कर रहे थे. ऐसे एक पल था जब वो किसी स्टूडियो में विमल का एड बना रहे थे. And Mani Ratnam happened to hear that ad. That was the birth of Roja. So who knows who's watching that? So it's again this conversation is for a lot of people who are watching this. Don't form a judgment based on a length. Just because it's movie, it has to be taken seriously. And just because it's a 10 seconder, it has to be frivolous. It's a wrong way of approaching it.
Right. You said that if you Imagine up you bole with Sonu Nigam and Shreya Ghoshal, and if they would not have been the casted available, then you would not have made the song. लेकिन आज के टाइम पे तो जब गाने बन रहे होते हैं तो म्यूजिक कंपोजर गाना बनाते हैं, फिर उसके बाद फिर देयर आर अदर पीपल हु डिसाइड कि कौन सिंगर उसको गाएगा, और उसके बाद फिर ये है कि मल्टीपल सिंगर उसको गाते हैं, उसके बाद फिर डिसाइड किया जाता है कि कौन सा वर्जन फाइनली लिया जाए. तो इस तरीके के फॉर्मेट को आप कैसे देखते हैं?
Faridoon, choice is not to be part of that format. And I must be honest to you that of all the things I've ever done in my life, कभी भी ये हुआ ही नहीं मेरे साथ. तो क्यों नहीं हुआ? मैं कौन सा मार्स आया हूँ? It's because they know very clearly कि अगर ऐसा होगा, I will not do it. What did I start this conversation saying? Choice हमारे हाथ में है. If you are a sum total of the choices you make in your life, कि मैं insecure भी हूँ, मुझे वो पिक्चर भी हाथ से जाने नहीं देना है, मैं कंप्लेन भी करूंगा, नहीं हो सकता. कहीं पे आपकी रीढ़ की हड्डी को सीधा रखना है एंड सेज दिस इज हाउ आई वांट इट. इट्स ग्रेट इफ यू एक्सेप्ट इट, इफ नॉट आई कांट डू दिस. यू हैव टू बी देयर. मैंने क्या बताया? 10 सेकंड. कंप्लेन मत करो, चॉइस तुम्हारे हाथ में मत करने की. वी ऑल हैव अ चॉइस नॉट टू डू. एंड फरीदून, वो जमाना चला गया है. मेकिंग अ पॉइंट वेरी वेरी क्लियरली, वो ज़माना चला गया जब मेरे पेरेंट्स का, जब चॉइसेस वर सो डिफिकल्ट दैट खाना कहाँ से आएगा नहीं पता है. अब वो नहीं है चॉइस. आई ट्रैवल दिस कंट्री अ लॉट. गाँव में भी बहुत अनाज है, तो शहर तो भूल जाओ. सो इट्स नॉट अ क्वेश्चन कि माई गॉड, नो, इट्स द क्वेश्चन इज आई वॉन्ट टू बी समवेयर. दैट्स योर चॉइस, वेयर डू यू वांट टू बी. But ये हो ही नहीं सकता that if a music composer or a lyricist or somebody can put a point of view across that it is not acceptable to me. Two things happen. You'll be replaced. You have to be so good that they will dig you out of the grave.
Healthcare anywhere. Simian Health focuses on improving access to care through technology.
And so good का is a belief system. 3 Idiots के बाद I think आपसे ये बात हो रही थी कि ऐसे शौक हुआ कि बताया जाता है हमारी इंडस्ट्री में कि जब कोई फिल्म चले या फिल्म हिट हो, एवरीबडी इन दैट फिल्म, स्पेशली फ्रॉम एक्टर्स टू दे साइन अ लॉट ऑफ फिल्म्स बिकॉज यू डोंट नो कब नेक्स्ट फिल्म आएगी. आई फाइंड दिस सिस्टम क्वाइट, आई डोंट नो, डजंट वर्क विद मी. इट्स नॉट अ होलसेल मार्केट, राइट? आई हैव टू फील, आई मस्ट रिलेट टू अ स्क्रिप्ट, आई मस्ट रिलेट टू अ पर्सन और अ डायरेक्टर. कुछ बांध बनेंगे, ये कॉफ़ी पियेंगे, मज़ा आ रहा है बात करके, चलो लेट्स साथ में काम करते हैं. ये है प्रोसेस दैट आई अंडरस्टैंड. राइट. कि ये नहीं हो सकता कि यार मैंने कोई कॉफ़ी अच्छा लगा, आज मैं 10 कॉफ़ी पी लूँगा. डजंट वर्क लाइक दैट. सो व्हाट आई डिड वाज, आफ्टर 3 Idiots एंड आई रियलाइज कि यार ये तो इज गोइंग थ्रू द रूफ, आई डिसाइडेड टू स्विच माई फोन ऑफ फॉर 100 days. 100 days, Faridoon. But I didn't stay in the city. I traveled across 14,000 feet across the Himalayas. Was I redundant? Was I out of focus? Was I forgotten? No. People who wanted to waited for me to come back. And we did it. That belief that I am good enough, that if I come back, they will wait. ये ना translate होता है, लोग देखते हैं. It never works. You know, my father had told an amazing thing many years back. उस समय ना वो telephone directory का yellow pages होता है, याद है?
Of course.
He told me that, Shantanu, let somebody, when I had become a composer and he was from the world of music, he was like, Shantanu, let somebody not choose you because our column में वो composer available नहीं है, इसलिए वो S पे आया है. Do such work that I don't have to look at the yellow page directory at all. Saying, yeah, I want this one. And वो मेरे ज़हन में घुस गया. I am a music composer. I'm not a film music composer only.
Wow.
The differentiation. I'm not subservient to just cinema. I love cinema. I do it. There are other things that I love in it too. It's a big problem which has happened is that everybody's thinking art only from a movie point of view. And it's very, very important. मैंने अभी एक album किया है with Kaushik Chakravarti called Punk. Where on stage I say that, why do you feel that music is only Bollywood? और ये फरीदून जब मैं बोलता हूँ ना, it makes a lot of sense.
Because you
I've done, and I've done songs which people know by heart. But I am saying that why is it a system where we just think music is, जैसे आप लोक संगीत करते हैं, अच्छा आप पिक्चर क्यों नहीं, आपने कोई पिक्चर का गाना गाया क्यों बोल रहे हैं उसको? Why are you asking this? How is that some kind of benchmark of excellence? What if I reverse it? What if I tell a playback singer कि आपने कभी भी कुंभ मेले में लोक संगीत गाया क्या? We don't do that, right? So I think that also is a thing that I am very conscious about, that I'm a music composer, I'm a creator. I'm not subservient to the format, which gives me the freedom.
But have you said no to certain films because they did not follow the pattern that you are comfortable with?
I have of every one film I do, I've already said no to 10. And no 10 in a very, very simple matter. It's not. I don't go to that script at all. That's why you're a human being. My instincts are very strong. What don't I want to be part of? So enough experience to know that what I don't want to be part of. And second is that, many years back, Faridoon, in Tibet, I met this monk, 16,500 feet, small monastery, sitting outside, catching some breath. A young monk came and sat next to me. He was also between breaks of his chanting. So he looked at me and says, "What do you do?" So I said, "Quite a few things." He said, "Lovely." So I told him I adventure sports, music, photography. So he said, "You look worried." I was astounded that he said that, because the truth was, I was already, this is part of my 100 days. 75 days हो चुके थे. मेरे को थोड़ा एक हो रहा था कि I've been away from work such a long time. What world will I get back to? Or will I be even there or not? I don't know. So in my head was going. He said, "You're worried that you're away from work for such a long time." But it means it comes to me. We all worked hard to be where we are. Is it going away? What's going to happen? He said an amazing line for him. He said, "Remember, the door which is locked gets knocked the most."
Wow.
जो दरवाजा बंद रहता है, उसमें सब आके नॉक करते हैं. जो दरवाजा खुला रहता है, हम कोई नॉक नहीं करता, वो अंदर चले जाता है.
Wow. No, but I think I've always been mesmerized with the way you think. मैं आपको एक बात बताना चाहूँगा. मैंने आपको पता भी नहीं होगा इसके बारे में. So here I would like to share one thing, that I have sung a jingle for 2-3 jingles for Shantanu. But the first one was Dabur Honey.
Correct.
And he actually paid me 3,000 rupees for that. He gave me a check of 3,000 rupees, and he was amazingly nice to me, to be honest. This was Delhi, 1999. You told me something so profound on phone once. I called you up and you said that, "Faridoon, always remember one thing, that many a times people do not work with artists who are excellent. People are more comfortable working with those artists who get along with other people in the studio."
Correct.
Because they have to spend 15 hours in a studio, and they have to eat food together, and they have to be. It's far more easier to work with someone like some of those people, rather than people who think that they are artists and very difficult to get along with. मैंने अपने कितने इंटरव्यू में इसके बारे में बताया, आपको मैं क्लिप्स काट के भेज सकता हूँ. आपको पता नहीं है इसके बारे में. सैकड़ों इंटरव्यूज में मैंने इसका जिक्र किया है. And I thought it was such a fabulous thing. And this is something that I've always told anyone that I have worked with, or any teams that I have been part of, that it's very important that you get along with people that you have to spend a lot of time with. Be nice to them, eat the food together, and make them feel comfortable. साथ में अगर उनके बैग्स उठा के लेके जाना है तो किसी तरीके से आप छोटे नहीं हो जाते हैं. Because like I've had cameramen and other people whatsoever. Yeah. And I've noticed that it adds to the camaraderie within the team. Absolutely. Brilliantly. When people have this notion कि साहब मैं तो host हूँ, मैं ऐसे करूँगा, मैं वैसे करूँगा. Doesn't work like that. Ultimately जो आपका चीज़ सामने आने वाली है, वो सबकी एनर्जीज के वजह से आएगी. जो पीछे भी, अगर ये सब भी पीछे अगर हैं, तो अगर इनको if I have not been taking care of him, तो इनकी एनर्जी उस तरीके की मुझे नहीं मिलेगी
Yeah.
दैट जैसे कि मुझे चाहिए शायद.
Yeah.
सो दैट वाज सच अ प्रोफाउंड स्टेटमेंट एंड नाउ व्हेन यू आर मेकिंग ऑल दीज स्टेटमेंट्स मैं तो सारी की सारी
Joining the
मतलब
dots.
वो नहीं जॉइनिंग द डॉट्स के अलावा मैं तो गठरी बना के रख रहा हूँ कि ये सब चीज़ें बाद में काम आए. Because this is wonderful. What you're saying, it is so profound because maximum people that I have been coming in contact with in the last few days, and they are geniuses in their own right, but they are like literally clamoring, you know, कि हमें properly हमें ड्यू नहीं मिल रहा है. There are other people who are telling us कि ऐसे करो, ऐसे म्यूजिक हटाओ, ऐसे यहाँ पर ये डालो, वहाँ पर उस सिंगर के साथ में कर लो. मैं चाह रहा हूँ कि मेरी आवाज़ में जाए लेकिन किसी और सिंगर की आवाज़ में फाइनली चला जाता है. So they are dissatisfied. But they're still very happy being a part of that clamor. आपका हिसाब किताब ही अलग है. And what you have created is pure art. मतलब कितने सारे गाने आपके पास में हैं जो कि आज 70-80 साल का जो हिंदुस्तान का म्यूजिक का जो एक पूरा जो हिस्ट्री है, they will stand out. Like पीयू बोले will stand out for sure. So many more.
तुमको याद है मैंने एक एल्बम किया था मन के मंजीरे.
हाँ of course. With शुभम मुदगल.
उसमें एक मैंने एक ट्रैक किया था विद अ लेडी कॉल्ड रुकमा बाई.
ओके.
ये कहानी बहुत ज़रूरी है बताना आपको क्योंकि आपने एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट स्टेटमेंट दिया कि ऑल आर्टिस्ट गो थ्रू दैट. मैंने आपको बताया कि आई हैव सीन अदर साइड. व्हाट इज द अदर साइड दैट आई हैव सीन? तो फरीदून, आई हैड हर्ड रुकमा बाई इन दिस टू बी एट फेस्टिवल दैट टाइम कॉल्ड अपना उत्सव. अमेजिंग वॉइस. फिर वो गायब हो गई. फिर जब मन की मंजीरी गाया, मन की मंजीरी वॉज एन एल्बम अबाउट वुमेन्स ड्रीम्स एंड एस्पिरेशंस. औरतों की आवाज़. ऑफ कोर्स शुभा जी वॉज देयर बट आई नीडेड सम मोर. सो मेरे जहन में वॉज रुकमा बाई. सो आई स्टार्टेड हंटिंग फॉर रुकमा बाई. और मेरा हमेशा ये था कि मैं संगीत अगर कर रहा हूँ तो कमरे में बैठ के नहीं कर सकता.
वाह.
आई हैव टू गो एंड सर्च लुक. तो मैंने बैग उठाया और उस समय राजस्थान पत्रिका के there was somebody I knew, उन्होंने बताया कि शांतनु उनको मिलना आसान नहीं है पर आप जैसलमेर ट्राई करिए. तो मैं जैसलमेर घूम रहा हूँ. मैं दिस स्टोरी विल जस्ट फ्रीक यू आउट इन द सेंस इट विल मेक यू अंडरस्टैंड कि हम कहाँ हैं क्या है. 4 दिन हो गए जैसलमेर. हाउ इज इट पॉसिबल समबडी हु इज एवरीबडी नोज शी इज द प्राइड ऑफ द कंट्री, हाउ इज इट कि घर नहीं मिल रहा है. तो फाइनली समबडी वन ड्राइवर सेट की क्या है ना कि उनका बेटा इज पार्ट ऑफ इंडो पाकिस्तान बॉर्डर फेंसिंग दैट टाइम. मैं आज से 25 साल पहले की बात कर रहा हूँ. तो वो शायद अपने बेटे के साथ ही अब फाउंड आउट कि कहाँ पे बॉर्डर फेंसिंग चल रहा है. सो जैसलमेर से बारमा डिस्ट्रिक्ट की तरफ रफली 35 किलोमीटर्स गाड़ी लेकर निकला मैं. और गाड़ी लेके निकल के पूछते अभी एविडेंस स्ट्रॉन्ग हो रहा है. हाँ, देयर इज अ बंच ऑफ नोमैडिक पीपल हु आर स्टेइंग हियर. करते आई मीट दिस स्मॉल कस्बा इन द डेजर्ट एंड देयर वाज अ किड. ऐसे ही मैंने पूछा कि यहाँ पे कोई रुकमा बाई रहती है? हाँ, रुकमा जी यहाँ रहती है. टेंट, फरीदून शहरियार, टेंट ऑन द सैंड, दिस ग्रेट सिंगर. मैं गया, नमस्कार. शी हैज नो लेग्स. पोलियो में उसके पैर और कट ऑफ. मंगनियार ट्राइब का फंडा ये है, शी वाज फ्रॉम मंगनियार, कि वहां पे मुस्लिम women are allowed to sing if you're part of the Manganiar tribe. Her husband marries her sister, so she becomes an outcast. So now she can't sing. मैं आपको सिचुएशन बता रहा हूं. हम कह रहे हैं ना स्ट्रगल. I'm giving you a picture. So no legs, can't sing, sits in a tent, stares at the sun. I went and said, Rukma ji, मैं आया हूँ आपके पास में. She was prolific गाली में के, saying like, what is this? I'm some kind of showpiece or something. What is this? I stood there. Her rent came out. ठंडा हुआ. पानी पियोगे? कहाँ रुकमा बाई का आवाज लेने आए हो जी? कहाँ रह रहे हो? होटल. होटल में रह के रुकमा बाई का आवाज कैसे सुनोगे? रुकमा बाई के साथ रहना पड़ेगा. I'm thinking, dude, this is middle of nowhere. Tent. I have a luxury hotel. What am I doing here? But this is a challenge she gave me. So I told the driver, I'm going to stay here. Sir, क्या कर रहे हो आप? नहीं मेरे को रहना है यहाँ पे. Trust gain करना है मुझे. If she's challenged me, then I have to stay here. I stayed that night for her. Beautiful sky, desert sky. रात को she started singing. Middle of the song she said, कल करेंगे आपका recording. Next day morning, there was a wooden plank उसमें रखा गया, गाड़ी में बिठाया उनको, रेत में गए, वहाँ पे उनका रिकॉर्डिंग किया मैंने, जो मन के मंजेरे एल्बम में है.
बीच डेजर्ट में.
Beach desert में. Remember, sand is a great acoustic. It absorbs sound. It doesn't reflect sound. So sand is fantastic. Recorded her in the beach desert में. I gave her money, and I gave her a lot of money. She took the money. She said, आज रात को पार्टी होगी. I'm telling सुषमा जी, आपको मैंने पैसे दिए ताकि आप ठीक से चले. She got damn angry with me. कल का छोकरा मेरे को जीना सिखा रहा है. रोज जीतती हूं आज के लिए. तू सिखाएगा कि कल कैसे जीतते हैं.
क्या बात.
जब पैसे खत्म हो जाएगा तब क्या होगा रुकमा भाई का. उसको वापस आज भी होना पड़ेगा. तो मेरा हैबिट मत ब्रेक कर भैया. आज करते हैं. She goes there, she party, goes, downs, rum. This is the life I've seen of a musician. Talented musician. Award-winning musician. Next day morning I'm coming back. I hug her. She says, बेटे शहर जा रहा है. मेरे दोस्त हैं, बाहर गांव रहते हैं. उनको तो पता नहीं मैं कहाँ पे रहती हूँ. हर महीने तो मेरा टेंट बदल रहा है. तो मिलोगे तो तुम ज़रा उनको बता देना कि मैं कहाँ पे हूँ. तो मैंने कहा मुझे पता कैसे चलेगा कौन है. फोटो है मेरे पास. Now comes the climax of the story. Takes out a photograph from a portly and gives it to me. I see Rukma Bai sitting, and there are two gentlemen and one lady behind her, and they all look familiar. But I can't replace them because in a very strange setup I am. Desert में ये चल रहा है. So I turn around the thing, उसमें चिट्ठी एक लिखा हुआ है. Dear Rukma Bai, not only are you a great artist, you are the most beautiful soul, and thanks for giving a bit of your purity to us. Signed by Eric Clapton, John McLaughlin, Sophia Loren, Faridoon Shahryar. 2 साल पहले BBC लंदन ये लोग आए थे यहाँ पे. हमको पता ही नहीं हमारे देश के बारे में. आए थे, फ्लाइट में बिठा के BBC लंदन ले गए, इंटरव्यू करके वापस लेके आए. और मुझे लगा कि मैंने कुछ डिस्कवरी किया है. But the point of this story was because I've seen that. मेरे को ये वाला कंप्लेंट समझ नहीं आता.
It's beautiful. Thank you for sharing this. But tell me, would you want to make a film? The way you talk, the way you narrate is so visual. There is a filmmaker inside you for sure. And obviously you've been part of many ad films and even apart from that. So.
Yeah, no, I think it is. And a lot of my concerts is about the storytellings. But the thing that I keep on telling a lot of people is that I have a great gift called music, but it's not for my individual glory. This music gift that I have is to make friends in environments which otherwise you wouldn't grow. And I use that. I'm aware of it and I use it to that's my high. That's my high. वो Tibetan monk के साथ मैं नहीं पहुंचता अगर मैं I wouldn't have been searching there. मैं वो रुकमा बाई के पास नहीं पहुंचता अगर मैं सिर्फ देखता कि मेरे लाइक्स कितने बन रहे हैं, मेरा गाना हिट हुआ कि नहीं. If this was my purpose of my craft, I would be able to have this conversation which I have. So I am so happy, I'm so blessed that it's such a beautiful world I'm part of. So when I hear the other stories, I don't know what world that is. And I think that's why I'm saying I'm so fortunate.
I think that's such a beautiful way of looking at maximum people in the world. They keep on complaining about inane things and somehow they don't know that maybe they're not living, because there's so much more to life than things that people are following. Okay, now when it comes to some of the songs that you've been part of, like Piu Bole, for example, You tapped the talent of Shreya Ghoshal at a very early stage of her career, and she sounded absolutely brilliant as far as Pure Bole is concerned, for example. How do you remember the Shreya Ghoshal of that time? And you guys had a recent reunion with the Swanam after 20 years. Swanam, then you guys had a reunion. So how do you look back at Shreya of that
Very
time?
proud for him, very proud of her. I won't say that I knew one day she'll be where she is, but I knew wherever she is there, she'll be happy. As you've understood by now, my appreciation for a person is not success oriented. Simple girl, that girl who had come to sing Parinita, wanted to be part of something beautiful. And it's a beautiful friendship which happened after that. She's family, comes home and all that. Hard work, lots of homework, lots of awareness. Probably the first person, if you honestly ask me, who knew what to do with Instagram. I used to be there when, I still remember that day when she said, "Kid," I said, "What is this?" She said, "Instagram." "Ye kya hota hai?" She told me. She said, "Do you have one?" I said, "No." She said, "I'll download it for you." Download किया मैंने कुछ किया नहीं उसके बाद. Extremely aware, extremely sharp. And I think I must say this, she is where she is, but that is not the objective of her life.
Wow.
Her objective of her life is to be part of music in whatever way it's possible. So that's why I remember. And I'm also mentioned Sonu Nigam.
Yeah, of course.
Sonu Nigam, I will always forever be indebted to my life, because when I came from Delhi with my obtuse way of looking at life, and when Parinita was happening, Sonu was probably the busiest artist. But I was very clear that I would want at least a couple of rehearsals with him. Can't just go to a recording studio and do it. I'm not even experienced.
Happened in a gym, I believe.
So I must say that in spite of his business, he understood this need of mine. Because I was not experienced, that's why. And film, Vidhu Chopra film, not just once, not just twice, at least 5-6 times I went to his house with the songs, sat down, gave me time, gave me this thing. Actually, in many ways, you can say Sonu handheld me, protect me. Sometimes when I used to go to recording studio, a lot of musicians would come and talk to me about how to make quick money, how to fist up works, this. Sonu would also say, "Shantanu, ऐसा मत सुनो. ये सब बहुत कुछ होगा, but you're not here to make money. You're here to make good songs." That belief, that faith, there. So, incredible pillar. Shan, I had worked with him in Yahan.
Right, of course.
Puchi Jo Koi Meri Nishani.
Yami's film.
And Yami's film. And there was also Guldar Saab in my first collaboration.
Right.
But Parinita was pivotal in terms of popularity, in terms of love, in terms of getting a glimpse what is it like to be adulated and loved by everybody. I genuinely believe that none of this we can do on our own. This is Akira Kurosawa's incredible line that cinema is a collective art form. But एक गुलजार साहब का कमाल का एक लाइन है जो मुझे कहते हैं कि शांतनु, this was specifically about my relationship with Swanand. He's very proud of me and Swanand. Loves us both like anything. And I know he misses Pancham. I've spent many an evening with him, talking to him. He told me one day, Shantanu, बहुत मुश्किल से ना कुछ चंद लोग मिलते हैं जिंदगी में जो जिनके साथ आप बिना कुछ सोचे सफर कर सकते हैं. मतलब अपने ही लोग हैं. माइंडसेट मैच करता है, पर्सनालिटी मैच करता है, मजा आता है कुछ करना. ऐसा अगर कोई इंसान मिल जाए ना तो कस के हाथ पकड़ लो.
वाह.
क्यों, क्या पता अगर ये हाथ छूट जाए कल कोई ऐसा मिले ना मिले.
क्या बात.
And I think it's coming from the fact that he missed Pancham so much. And he knew that my and Swanand's relationship is something like that. And he said that a lot of people will say, that, oh, you've done a lot of work together, now try to do something. बहुत बोले, हाथ कस के पकड़ के रखो. क्योंकि क्या पता कल कैसे वो मिले ना मिले. And these things, now Faridoon, I have understood that whatever I am, today I'm sitting and talking to you, whatever my achievement is not me. I'm one of them. because a bunch of us held hands. That is why I am here what I am. The day I will feel that I did something, it's time for me to quit.
Right. Okay. And now taking the conversation forward from this point. Now, post PK, the way things happened between Mr. Chopra and Raju sir. Now, you also have had a very, very strong association with Raju Hirani. Now, you were not part of Sanju and Denge, of course.
Yeah.
लेकिन शायद वो संजू में और डंकी में शायद वो एक आपका जो एक एलिमेंट था जो आपको दोनों का कोलैबोरेशन था वो मिसिंग नजर आया. सो डू यू फील दैट एट टाइम्स जो सर्टेन फ्यूड्स होते हैं इंडस्ट्री के वो दे आल्सो एंड अप अफेक्टिंग अदर पीपल हु आर इन्वॉल्वड?
Faridoon, I'll be honest with you. I don't think so. There's a feud. I think a child grows. I know for sure that almost every other day Raju and Vinod talk to each other. Every other day. I know for sure that they often, Raju has a place in Pune. Vinod often goes there, or Raju goes there. It's a beautiful relationship. It's just that the child grew. Maybe something like that. I have no doubt in future. Who knows? You will get to near again. They're collaborating. When I told you the first thing that cinema, the important to understand is only one captain of the ship. That is the director. And the director's vision is paramount. There must be a reason why he chose a particular team, and must be a reason why in future, if again we collaborate, why he's calling. I will never question that. But I think the important thing is this, that whenever that call comes, there's no baggage. It's new, it's fresh. It's not transactional. The amount of times I have gone to Rajkumar and his house to play table tennis or hang around was more when I was not doing work with him. That is what a relationship should be. It's not transaction. It's not based on work. And but having said all this, I must tell you one thing. I firmly believe once a collaboration gets formed, it is prudent and it makes sense to continue with that for magic to happen. I always give the example of Steven Spielberg and John Williams. The amount of work they have done together, right from E.T. to any other film, different genres, which is why it's a great partnership, great relationship. I think it really helps. For example, I love the partnership which, for example, Imtiaz and Rahman have, or Anurag Basu and Pritam have, because एक film में पता नहीं चलता. Over a period of time, the trust happens. Again, that's when the magic starts happening.
Right.
So I think that's where I would have felt a little lost out, because you know what, shit, we could have done this together. Then so many things could have been done.
Yeah, of course. Like Denge, for example, Sanju, though, even Raju sir was not totally convinced that, because many people say that it was whitewashing of Mr. Dutt, but Denge is a film that definitely could have been much better than what you expect from a Rajkumar Hirani film, and it was not. And music incorporation भी शायद वैसा नहीं था जैसे कि one would have hoped. लेकिन आपके करियर में मुझे पता है कि आपको जाना है, लेकिन मैं आपको जाने नहीं दूंगा. जाने नहीं देंगे हम जो आपका गाना है. So you've had a few anthems. मुझे लगता है कि किसी भी म्यूजिक कंपोजर के लिए एंथम्स हो पाना जो कि रिपीट किए जाएं वेरियस ओकेजन्स में बड़ा रेयर होता है. बंदे में था दम and All Is Well, for example, Restart.
And actually Give Me Some Sunshine also.
Give Me Some Sunshine, of course, Give Me Some Sunshine. तो ये anthems हो पाना मुझे लगता है कि that it's a rarity, and like every time Lage Rao Munna Bhai comes, honestly, that's a film that you just cannot not watch. And that बंदे में था दम, the way it comes, like अभी मैं बात कर रहा हूँ मेरे goosebumps हो रहे हैं. So that is something which is remarkable to have had anthems to your credit, which is they're going to outlast you for sure.
Thank God.
And it's not easy. See, many times romantic song बहुत चलेंगे, लेकिन ये है कि जो anthems होते हैं वो मतलब लोगों के sentiments के साथ में जुड़े रहते हैं. Because they're inspirational.
I was in Ladakh, where on 15th of August in a school, I saw the kids singing this song. Bande Matadam, Bande Mataram. I was in Hyderabad where young girls rescued from sex trafficking were singing Sari Umr Hum Mar Mar Ke Ji Liye Ek Pal. It's incredible. That's why I'm saying it's a gift, Faridoon ki. When I've seen where and how these songs have reached, I think I've gotten more than I'd bargained for. And the truth is, that today you ask me how did it happen, I don't know. But maybe, just maybe, I've been able to protect my brain from toxicity. I've seen the beauty of this incredible country. I've seen places, interact with people. There's a very, very beautiful world inside me. I think these songs come from there. And I think it's very important for every artist to do that, to screen yourself from negativity, toxicity. So many good things, Faridoon, in our country. You just have to be step away a little bit. थोड़ा दूर जाना पड़ता है क्योंकि वो लोग इंस्टाग्राम में नहीं है जहाँ पे कहानियाँ हैं, जहाँ पे ये चीज़ें होती हैं. मैं जब I was cycling down Ganga 3,000 kilometers after COVID, creating music along the way, of course, in my series Songs of the River, but also encountering people. And I say this to you with great pride that probably this is one of the most beautiful countries in the world, and I'll tell you why. Bihar में 1-1:30 बजे दोपहर को I was taking a break from my cycling. I used to cycle for 10 hours. My nutrition, all that. My camera crew was behind. I told them I don't want to ever see you because it breaks your concentration. तो मैं एक पेड़ के नीचे ऐसी, Ganga was always on my left. For 3,000 kilometers, it was always on my left. Along with that, if I can go back, now all the movies that I've done, you will see it goes back with some small shift in the way you think what life is. And I think that has been my driving force.
No, I think definitely when it comes to the diversity as far as India is concerned, and it's definitely the most amazing country in the world. मैं भी आपको एक छोटी सी story बताता हूँ. A few days back here in Mumbai itself, I wouldn't go into the context.
Yeah.
So I was sitting in front of a man, so he identified me, कि आपके interviews देखें, this and that, and he was like he was watching something on his mobile. Some news was going on कि यहाँ पर ईरान में वो हो गया, उसने अमेरिका ने ये कर दिया टाइप ना. तो he just looks at me and he said कि that sir आप तो जर्नलिस्ट हैं, आप थर्ड वर्ल्ड वॉर होने वाली है ना. मैंने कहा भाई टीवी देखना छोड़ दो, तुम्हें अंदाजा होगा नहीं होने वाली है.
Very well said.
Because आप सोशल मीडिया पे ना हो और आप न्यूज़ चैनल्स आप ना देखो तो वाकई में बहुत हसीन है. दुनिया भी बहुत हसीन है, सब कुछ बहुत हसीन है. It's when you keep on seeing the loud news channels that you start feeling about a lot of things. But apart from that, it's normal people. They have other issues in life. They're very simple and they're extremely well behaved and respectful. Okay, मैं आपसे दो आखिर के सवाल पूछना चाहूँगा. एक तो 3 Idiots का म्यूजिक लॉन्च होता है विधु विनोद चोपड़ा के सांता क्रूज के ऑफिस में, जो बाहर का एरिया था जहाँ पर एक वो था झूला था. तो वहाँ पर आप थे, राजू सर थे, स्वानंद किरकिरे थे, एंड वी वर हैविंग दिस कॉन्वर्सेशन. ऊपर से प्लेन्स जा रहे थे. आपने मुझसे कहा था कि जाने नहीं देंगे तुम्हें इज मे बी सोनू निगम्स मोस्ट डिफिकल्ट सॉन्ग. और फिर गजब का वो गाना है, और जैसे आपने राइटली कहा कि पिक्चराइजेशन ऑल दिस थिंग्स कोलैबोरेटिव थिंग. राजू सर ने जो उसको पिक्चराइज किया था इट वाज एब्सोल्युटली ब्रिलियंट. नॉट एन इजी सॉन्ग टू मेक एज वेल. जो उसका जो पूरा स्ट्रक्चर है वो कहीं से कन्वेंशनल है ही नहीं कि वो
कॉमेडी नहीं है. वो
कहीं से वो कहीं चला जाता है एकदम बिल्कुल. एंड who better to sing it than Sonu sir in terms of changing of scales as well. Maybe one of your most complex compositions in a way.
This and भगवान है कारे तू.
वाह.
मैंने आपको बताया ना कि जब जो भी करोगे ना 10 सेकंड भी अगर हो, so do it to the best of the ability. Who knows who is watching this, what's going to happen. So this point I'm making is right now कि especially भगवान है कारे तू, that was a part of the film. But then becoming the other songs at that time of the film coming out, this was one of the songs. Okay, it didn't become what it is. But there's irony. COVID happens. One day Sonu Nigam calls me up. कि शांतनु, तूने सोशल मीडिया देखा क्या? Everybody is sharing this song. भगवान है कारे तू.
वाह.
COVID के टाइम में. We don't know the destiny of what we're doing for it.
Of course.
And if we creative people stop controlling the destiny, na, it can fly. हम क्या करते हैं? We put our intelligence out of it. I think our song should go here. I think our song should do this. Chill. Leave it. There are forces working, and that will go. Because of your intervention, it may not go there.
Right.
Just let it be. Trust it. Trust what you've made, and step back.
Wow.
So these two probably were very, very tough. And I have seen Sonu. Oh my God, Faridoon. Like, I don't know of any other playback singer who can approach that emotional intensity by draining yourself out in the recording studio, crying, sweating, intense pain being given to your system so that the brain feels that this is probably the last song of your life. That kind of intensity. It's a pleasure to have. Again, when I conceived it, these two songs, there was only one name, Sonu Nigam. If for some reason he would not have been able to sing, I would not have made these two songs. This is the power of creating by thinking of the voice, and only that voice, no other voice. Not substitute, not let's try out, nothing. It's the conviction. Even singer knows that song has been created for him.
No, I think that's what a Raju Hirani does, and that's what even Vinod Chopra is very, very strong-minded. He'll go to any extent to just do what he wants to do. That way, 12th Fail, very fine songs. The movie is hugely inspirational. When you are so virile and so fertile as a music composer, why don't we hear more of you in the present world? Because आपके जो सारे thought process है, आपके सारा जिस तरीके का सोचने का है, मतलब I think you are as young as when I met you, like say 25 years back, more than 25 years, I think 27 or 28 years back. So थोड़ा सा एहसान करें आप, please.
I said that I'm a composer, मैं सिर्फ film composer नहीं हूँ. So a lot of interesting stuff is happening in non-film for me. As I said, I've done an album with Kaushik Chakrabarti called Punk, and it's interesting that I started with non-film. I started with Apke Sawan, Mann Ke Manjeere, where of course films happen and films give you name, brand, and all that. But I love that also. That is also happening. I also have done very important piece of work with Sujit Sarkar, which is very important to mention. For example, right, my first film, Yahan,
October as well.
October, Yahan, your Gulabo Sutabo, Udham. So,
what a film, Udham
what a
Singh.
film. Yeah.
What a film.
And the score got recognized. So I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Point is that I would like to associate with things, people, stories, which are an extension of what my belief system is.
No, I can understand that. Yeah,
And if you see my filmology, it kind of works like that.
100%.
And as I told you, there are 100 other things which are happening. I'm doing it. And it's fantastic. But I remember I started this conversation with saying that I used to work in a corporate. I was a misfit there. And I used to pray every day that a chance will jaye to restart. And Faridoon, when that chance came, I don't want to make that mistake again. So I have designed my journey in such a way that each day I get up feeling excited about the day. Not a chore कि नहीं करना है करनी. And उसके लिए अगर मुझे कुछ दिन के लिए कुछ ना करना पड़े, so be it. ताकि मैं जब करूँ, I feel, oh my God, like a kid in a toy store. Oh my God, we have so much fun. That is when you can't make out the age.
Yeah, of course. You. I'm not saying it to be polite, but even you know that. I think unfortunately we don't have the pictures of that point in time. वो दौर था नहीं pictures का. You have a book inside you.
Yeah.
Would you like to write something?
I wrote something. I wrote a book called, which I'll send it to you. It's called On the Wings of Music. It was a Bengali first, called Ferrari Moon. And then I translated. These are journeys, the thing that I took, the stories that I'm telling you. So it's called On the Wings of Music, which came out. Now, time to write the stories for my Himalayan journey. I love writing. I used to write a lot in Times of India, where you started your columns.
Columns up, yeah.
So I like writing. So yeah, it's something. And Punk was a series which I directed for the first time. So I really enjoyed directing. And Vidhu Chopra constantly keeps on telling me, Yara, ab time hai, picture bana. So
Yeah, I think that's what I told you.
yeah, you told me also. So yeah, so let's see where it goes.
No, thank you very much. It's truly, I think, outstanding talking to you, and definitely inspirational, because many times I think all of us we keep on falling into the दुनियावी जो तामझाम है उसमें आदमी फंसा रहता है. लेकिन ये है कि मैं आपको one of the reasons why I have always traveled is because looking at you, I've always found time for traveling. Like say if you have to go to Kargil, for example, I don't drink or something. मतलब रात में जल्दी सो के सुबह 5 बजे उठ के I just पूरा सारा मैंने कारगिल का पूरा एरिया I just went with on a taxi. बाकी लोग पब्लिक सो रही थी 4 बजे तक पार्टी कर रहे थे. मेरा कहना था यार तुम कारगिल आके तुम पार्टी कर रहे हो, तुम्हें घूमना चाहिए.
It's risky.
And the whole idea is that when people travel, you don't need much time.
The only live battlefield memorial in the world, Kargil. Only live. Best is museum जगह होता है. ये उसी जगह पे म्यूजियम है. Memorial जो है. It's the only one. So it's amazing that so much there to offer, so much there to see. And further, I will end this conversation by telling you one simple thing. तुम्हारा पैर सही है, तुम्हारा हाथ सही है, तुम्हारा माइंड सही है. You have no reason to complain.
100%. This is exactly the way I talk actually. This is exactly the way when people complain in front of me कि हमारे पास ये नहीं है वो नहीं है. So I was recently talking to one of my colleagues who's handling my YouTube, and that she's based in Ukraine. And she told me that there is -11 temperature. Russia war is taking place. They're not having electricity for 6 hours. And they're surviving in -11 without electricity, without heat. And I was like that if you have, अगर आपको लग रहा है कि आपकी ज़िंदगी में मसले हैं तो भाई ये देखो, इस तरीके से लोग जिंदा हैं and they are surviving. Absolutely. And they're still working as well.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. So that was one and only one, Shantanu Moitra. And truly an amazing legacy conversation. I had a great time just talking to him, and I'm sure that you'll be having amazing time listening to and watching to this conversation again and again.